February 25th, 9:47 a.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 2. The day of defense. This is the defendant lobby, alright, but there's no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be, and where's Emma for all that matter? It's almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. Edgeworth! Knowing you've already figured it out. Who's the owner of the 77777 ID number is? Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm the only one who's figured it out. You know. The only reason this trial didn't to verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt regarding that SID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, there's no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In any case, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, Wright, and Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But you didn't do it. I figured you'd say this much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. It's the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know is the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SL9 incident, and we could prove you're innocent as well. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about this past. That depends on you, Edgy. Well, if she's found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. I'll think about it. See you in court, right? This, I might be able to do this. Get rid of all this new set of demons. Don't mind me. Right, I'm gonna do my court. My side. My lobby. This is it. If I'm ever gonna find out what happened to what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. February 25th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana's defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is where the prosecution. But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant.
Why, hello there. Morning, folks. How's everyone doing? Hey, Edgy, been back in the pool to the pool yet?
No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that.
If you don't mind, asking, Chief, what exactly is this proposal of yours? Lana, that is to say the defendant has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, I should be save everyone a lot of time and trouble. Well, what is this all about, defendant? I'd like to say one simple request and I'll be finished.
Well, then, what's your request? I will accept anything other than you getting rid of Wright and saying you're guilty.
Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial.
No! Huh?
I'll confess all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman.
No, you did not! I highly doubt that!
In the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's.
No, Lana! I said no to your claims until we found objects! No, you can't! You can't! I agree with Mr. Wright!
Your Honor, the defendant's claims does not change the defense's plea.
He's right!
In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your service.
You require his services! I demand you have a defense attorney! You might be a prosecutor, but he is your best shot! In fact, he is your only shot!
But Lana?
Your Honor, I hereby
Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an...
No, you do not! You've had this attorney since the beginning of this trial. You will not give him up.
The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it's sufficiently proven its case through new testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now. If you...
I say not guilty then!
Well, the defense essentially has a right to self-representation,
but you are innocent! He has proven that there has been extreme loopholes, and we still need to know who 7777777777.
Too many sevens, sir.
Okay, however many sevens there were. Yes, legally valid, but not since I've stated that it wasn't the case. Because I said so.
Indeed, if there's no further conclusion to continue this trial,
literally, we need to, because plot. And I will stay, unless Mr. Edgeworth says something, I'm right now going to hit my hammer, say...
One moment, Your Honor, before...
Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth! I was going to say that I was going to have you start shooting out my confetti early.
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. And any ruling at this stage would be certainly be premature. Like what I've heard Gaunt likes to be. Come on, come now, Worthy. That's a low blow. I understand this is a difficult time, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut? I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant.
What?
I'll hit you. Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes? Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes.
Some kind of deal, huh?
Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call
Miss Emma Scott!
I request the court hears her testimony.
Hold it, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to
I don't care what you think, Miss Sky. You have a right. You need his advantage.
The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it.
Very well, the court shall grant prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gaunt?
Worthy, you'll live to regret this, mark my words. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Looks like Edgy has decided to take the horse by the reins. Thank you, Edgy.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
My name is Emma Sky. My occupation, I'm Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator.
2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer, Joe Dark of the Joe Dark Killings. Is this correct?
Yes, I'm trying to. My heart is too good about that, though.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid you're going to ask you to recall those events one more time.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago. Really? All that was
Yes, it most certainly is. Because not only was the murder, the supposed murder weapon, or one of the incident items, all the evidence that we've encountered, other than for my knife, which was in my trunk, that was used as the murder weapon, has all been related to SL9, along with all the witnesses, along with me. It is necessary.
well, okay then.
He sure gave in first. With good proof, too. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun.
I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came on again and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. Even though the knife for some reason was in his back, and there was some of the pictures we've seen. I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's case? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin cross-examination, and by defense, I mean you, Mr. Wright, and not Miss Lana Sky, who wants to just surrender. I want her innocent. So I can shoot off my innocent confetti for her. Okay, one second, I want to check something. Ooh, that's interesting. Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on and just the lights went out.
The lights?
It was about the time of this time of the year. It was a terrible storm going on. The lightning struck me about.
So the electricity went out.
Wait a minute! If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything. Right, but it was just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgetting conclusion. I see. I told the detective about what I saw.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of that case.
Detective Goodman, the victim. Let's hear more. So, you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago?
Yes, that's what's so scary about this job.
And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw.
Yes, but at the time the words wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture. Yes, I think she mentioned this somewhere before.
Well, Mr. Mo.
Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning. But the witness list of evidence I was given you contain a picture.
Witness, would you mind if... Yes, Your Honor.
I believe we know where it is. I believe we have. I believe we have evidence. It's Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet, you would insist on denying its existence. Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that it is the prosecutor of that case. I wasn't handed such a picture. That may well be, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold! This is the evidence list of the SL9 incident. Please turn it over, Your Honor. Turn it over! Turn it... Ow! What's this? It's a sideways picture! Yes, Your Honor, what is it?
Hey, that's the picture I drew.
Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. With one of them holding half of it, somebody still holding. What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list? Me? Only the prosecutor in charge of should have access to them. Huh? These lists, they're different from each other. What? It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other. So, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half the evidence in the case ever reached you. What? What? God! Order! But Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the half of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the question room, Your Honor.
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means, Your Honor.
All right, are you all right, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
The evidence list was torn in half. Then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list. What?
Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's possible. Let's see.
Is something wrong?
Do you even have to ask?
Sorry, Your Honor.
This is something drawn on the...
That thing that was dancing in the evidence room.
Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
I guess
He was handing out of scrap paper.
Very well, witness. Will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yeah, yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture.
This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright I could see all I could see was shadows. After that, it must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant.
Do you think that a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind?
Thanks to that, though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now present its cross-examination.
Let's see. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster but if you simply pointed out this contradiction. What part of the picture?
Looks like the tip of the knife. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. As you look at the tip is broken.
Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr.
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. What a weapon. Its tip was broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife found broken off in the victim's body.
It was conclusive a piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. And if the victim was only stabbed once, the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Oh, what's the meaning of this?
Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
That's right, but what does this mean?
The knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the system memory was mistaken. No. That's why I asked her so many times if she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no way to explain the inconsistency. Not so fast, edgy boy. There's another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? I hate those words. That combination of two words. All I'm saying is this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No.
God! I'm blaming you! Order!
Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor, please allow me once again to go over all the evidence of the that took place of the murder that day. the police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Joe Dark. It is my belief that somewhere in the story there is a lie.
I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife.
If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. There must have been another broken knife.
What are the chances of there being two broken knives?
Another broken knife besides Dark. Been one. There is another one.
Mr. Wright?
I know, in that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to share us.
Murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder weapon. There's only one way. Take a look at this. This here is the real murder weapon. The answer lies in the past.
2 years in the past. Right here in this picture.
This is a...
This is a picture of the award ceremony. Ah! There it is! What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's the broken murder weapon.
Cut!
Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding?
That's a broken knife.
As we could, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from an award.
Order!
Neil Marshall was awarded the King of Prosecutors that day. We'll be right back.